This podcast episode is sponsored by Stewardship Matters, Estate Planning.
Good day, seniors and active adults. Welcome back to our YouTube podcast, Get Your Weekly Slice, where we protect, inform, and educate you, our seniors and active adults, every week about what you should know as you age. It is about keeping you, our seniors, in the know. This podcast is about stories. Us, Alba and I, helping seniors, number 4. This particular couple, active adults as they are, not seniors, but I do work with both seniors and active adults. They finally found a dream home that was going to be closer to where their daughter lived in the Orlando area. By them finding that dream home, life was good. It was so good that they felt comfortable where they were, where they moved to be closer to their daughter, and they had the space. They went ahead and had a pool built, or an indoor pool put in, let's put it that way. Unfortunately, the husband was retired, which is a good thing, but the wife wasn't. The wife's health declined. Therefore, she was forced into retirement. And what happened is without that weekly income, they needed to tighten up their belts. So we had a conversation, and they decided that they wanted to still stay in Orange County, be somewhat close to their daughter, knowing that if they were in the county, that's a good thing, but they were going to have a distance from their daughter, but doable. The daughter eventually got married, so that was a good thing. So they found a 55 plus manufactured community. And the reason why they chose that is because once they sold their house, they were going to have some equity, and it was going to be able to purchase outright cash the manufactured home community. Now, there's two different types of communities here in the Orlando area. One, where you own the land, and the other is where you don't own the land. So the distinction is the price is a little bit higher because you own the land in the one. On the other, the prices on the manufactured homes are a little less because you got to keep in mind you got to pay lot rent. And lot rent will run anywhere from $500, $600, $700, $800 a month. And most of these communities where you pay lot rent, you don't own the land. You just own the manufactured home. They're notorious to raise every year a minimum of at least 5%. So it's always a better bet if you can afford to move into a manufactured community, but having the land, as opposed to moving into a manufactured community, not owning the land. Because you're always going to have that lot rent, but that lot rent is going to go up every month. So we did find one. So we had to strategize. And basically what our strategy was to get their property listed, get it under contract or close to contract, look at properties in the 55 plus active adult community. And then once we had it under contract, choose one in that community, but we had to do it with the contingency that they sell their property. So what I do as a certified senior housing professional, and I do it all the time for seniors and active adults, I have the home pre-appraised because I want to make sure that my client, senior active adult, and or their families are getting the most money for their property. Now, there's a lot of investors out there. There's a lot of agents, and I don't mean to talk bad about either or, but there are a lot out there that miss the mark when it comes to pricing a home. So fortunately for me, I was able to find an appraiser who's got over 30 years of experience and is able to do an appraisal, pre-appraisal for my senior active adult, which I pay for, not the senior active adult, because I want to make sure that they get the most money for that home. And I'm willing to stick my neck out to do an appraisal, even though a buyer who purchases a home using a loan or a mortgage will have their bank do an appraisal. And in most cases, if not in all cases, the appraisal that I have done for my appraiser usually comes right spot on with the other appraisals. There have been some challenges, and I'll go into that in more detail. But unfortunately, in this particular case, I should say unfortunately, it's fortunate. We had multiple offers, so we chose one of the multiple offers, and it was the highest and best. So once we were able to get it under contract, then we were able to move forward with the purchase of their home. And we looked at several in this community, 55 plus, and they found one that they liked. We put an offer in on it. We went down a little lower, not much, because we knew we were going to have to ask for a contingency on them selling their home to purchase this home. So we did that. And again, in our favor, we were cash. And the other thing is that this house had been on the market for quite some time because it was a flip. An investor who works and has a couple properties in that community likes to buy some that are in repair, and then he does all the work and then resells them. So we were able to have them accept the contract, the offer. We had it inspected, everything went well. But in the meantime, we had a little hitch with the property that they were listing to sell. And that hitch was that the appraisal that the bank did for the buyers who were purchasing it with a mortgage, the appraisal came in at $41,000 less. You're talking almost 9% of the value of this property that was pre-appraised. So the agent said they didn't have any money to come cash, liquid cash, to make up for that difference. I indicated to the agent that my buyers aren't going, or my sellers aren't going down on that price, because I informed him I had it pre-appraised. I priced it at the pre-appraisal and it went up, and there's no doubt in my mind it's going to appraise for that. And when we did a rebuttal to that appraiser, he was steadfast with his appraisal amount. We argued the point, but there was no movement. So the buyers really were distraught. They liked the home, but they didn't have that liquid cash, and we didn't anticipate them to have it. So they were given two options: go back to the mortgage company, have them do a second appraisal, or get another mortgage company. Well, the first didn't work. The second did, so they got another mortgage company. I was able to stave off the sellers, delay the closing for maybe 2 weeks to get them approved, which was no problem, but also to get another appraisal done. You didn't have to worry about FHA because it was a conventional loan. So that was on our side with this particular buyer. So I had to reach out to the buyer's home that they wanted to purchase, or excuse me, my seller's home that they wanted to purchase, to that listing agent and make sure that the seller was okay with what was going on. Everybody was okay with it. We ended up, the buyers for my sellers, who are active adults, their appraisal came in, and instead of being a $41,000 deficient amount, it was now $2,000 plus for equity for the new buyers for the new homeowners. So it all worked out. We were able to get all that resolved and move forward with the closing. In the meantime, I set up appointments with the sellers with an estate sale mover. They were not interested in doing that. They were interested in doing it themselves. They sold some things on Facebook, which is fine. It's their choice. But I just wanted to provide that I had resources, trusted resources and services for them if they decided to use them. They opted not. They're very uh, church going. Their church is very giving to other members. So they were able to get some church members to help them pull some of the items out. They couldn't move them into the new home because they had to close on their sale to get the money to purchase the new home because they were paying cash from the sale of their home. Long story short, they were able to put the remaining things into storage unit. And then the day we closed on theirs, 2 days later, we closed on the other home that they were purchasing. And then they were able to move their stuff into that home with the help of their church members. So all in all, it all worked out. But sometimes we have to adapt to what issues arise because all closings are different. Everything's different nowadays. You learn something new all the time. Everything always is a moving target. So this way we were able to dodge all bullets. They were able to sell their home. They were able to purchase one that was affordable where they could pay cash. That was a way for them to tighten their belt, but still be owners. Keep in mind, we were able to do the portability tax because they had homestead exemption, going to get transferred over to the new home, but the taxes were going to be a little bit different because the new home was an investment, so the taxes were a little bit higher. So we did the portability tax, and then everything balances out. A lot of agents don't realize or understand that portability tax is out there. It's available to help homeowners who are downsizing from one home to another home, especially if they've had homestead exemption for 10, 20, 30 plus years, because it's to their advantage. The taxes are lower. So again, just want to let you know as a certified senior housing professional, when I work with seniors and active adults, it's about getting them the most money. So if you share this podcast with your parents who are of either one, senior or active adult, or you have aunts and uncles, family members, neighbors, or church members who are in that active adult senior, and they're looking to downsize or liquidate, I'm able to help them find the housing, get them moved, take them from step A, B, C, from the beginning to the middle to the closing and beyond. I'm there to help them. I also want you to keep in mind, by using other agents, I'm different as a certified senior housing professional. But if another agent did that and had that $41,000 discrepancy, they would have asked the seller to bring it down because most agents think that the appraisals that come in are always spot on, and they're not. Lesson learned. So again, if you have any family members, please share my podcast with them because my seminars are based about being proactive as opposed to reactive. And also, my mission is to protect, inform, and educate seniors and active adults and their families. The acronym for Protect, Inform, and Educate is PIE. The name of my podcast is Get Your Weekly Slice. So I hope to see you soon. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. In closing, I hope you enjoyed today's Get Your Weekly Slice. If you'd like to discuss further, today's topic, you can reach me via email at mike@your, Y-O-U-R, Florida, spelled out, Haven, Haven.com, or call me at 407-340-5291 to set up an appointment. I provide a free 1.5-hour in-person meeting to discuss your future plans on aging while providing you a minimum of 3 options to choose from. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. While on my website at yourfloridahaven.com, sign up for my monthly newsletter, RSV to any of my in-person events, which are held at the Orange County Library, Smarter Senior Seminar Series events, and to view any and all of my videos and podcasts. We hope these podcasts are helpful, and if they are, please share with your friends, family, and neighbors by letting them know what we offer as certified senior housing professionals, designated real estate agents, to our seniors and active adults as they age. We're a connector. It is about keeping seniors in the know. Till next time, when you come back to get your weekly slice.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Stewardship Matters, Estate Planning.